right, let's start this off, y'all.
The Broke Otaku podcast is bought and sold by Crust Mental Health. Get a dose of depression-fighting endorphins every time you brush. Crust Mental Health. Stay alive.
Welcome to the Broke Otaku podcast. I'm your host, AJ. With me is Marcus, a.k.a. Jack Johnson's Johnson.
Hey, what's up? I'm Jack. You can call me Johnson Johnson.
Jack Johnson, you don't know who Jack Johnson is, clearly.
No, I don't.
He's the guy who does it I'm with you and you with me, and we are so fucking happy, and doopa guitar, and everyone loves my fucking songs. Jack Johnson has a Johnson.
He sounds like a bootleg Randy Newman.
He does sound like
He is kind of like a
Randy Newman.
He is kind of like a Subway version of Randy Newman, but not as hokey as Randy Newman.
You say a Subway version? What's that mean?
Like he's in the subway playing his songs.
Okay.
In this train station.
All right. Well, we're still in the introduction, so let's get back on task.
Nope.
And also Alan, a.k.a. Fuck Goose.
Okay.
Hey, y'all want to play a game?
No.
Nah.
All right. Good night.
Thanks, everyone,
Peace
for
out.
listening. We'll catch you next time on the Broke Otaku
Oh, wow,
podcast.
you said game. I thought you said gain.
You want to play a game? Why would I say game? Doesn't even make sense.
I thought you were talking about lifting them sick, doing some sick reps, getting them sick gains.
I don't think
Yeah, you don't
that's a
play
thing.
I was
those.
like, I'm tired. Well, I thought it was just slang. Like you were just trying to make it sound fun because it isn't.
Some people like it.
I like it. I just can't do it because my body's stupid.
I like it, and I can do it, but I don't want to.
I don't like it, and I can't do it, and I don't want to.
Like most people. Anyway, we're going to play the song lyric game, whatever it's officially called. I don't know what it's called.
This game is
It's
called
called Marcus Sings.
Voltron 20,001, The Final Reckoning.
Voltron?
Yeah, because Alan says our game names suck, so we're just going to start naming them stupid.
Name
Well,
them
they're
like
already-
it's an anime, yeah.
All right, fine. We're going to play Voltron 2000 Expedition. Take the galaxy on for yourself, okay?
My retroactive oven mitt reclaims the galaxy for me.
What happens when one guy sings and the other guys have a spaceship? Boing.
Boo.
Let's just do this the whole podcast. Like, come up with names that sound like all the stupid manga titles. Like, is it okay to play a game over the internet with your friends if there's a penguin too?
Can I even be a piece of wood inside a house made of metal and glass?
All those things coexist peacefully with
What happened to the butler's daughter of the president?
Is she really a demon lord? Because
the
she's so
butler's
cute.
daughter of the president?
Yeah, the butler cheated on the first lady with,
Wait.
the president cheated on the first lady with the butler.
Oh, the
Wait,
butler's
what?
a man?
The butler's daughter. You broke me. I'm broken, sir.
Well, who cares? I don't remember what I said. AKA the lyric game. So for people that haven't heard, this is a game where I sing lyrics to a popular anime opening or ending, sing it in Japanese, and then Alan and AJ will try to guess what those lyrics mean. Whoever is the closest or whoever makes me laugh or entertains me the most gets the point for the song. And then there's a winner, and they don't win anything. We're just playing for fun, okay?
Get the point?
It's funny because I don't watch enough anime to even remotely have a chance of knowing any of these. I'm in the long line of work. Damn it! I concentrated really hard on not flubbing that. But the Jack Beam
Dad
is
Jack.
winning out.
He got that Jack.
I'm going to confess I don't watch nearly as much anime as I should. So we're on level playing field here.
We're all imposters.
I'm not.
You're not. You're the real deal, Marcus. That's why you're on the show. The show needs you. You can never leave.
Yep.
Marcus,
Anyway.
have you watched Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and done an analysis on what the difference is and why Brotherhood is supremely better?
I'm not that hardcore. However, I've watched the original 2003 Full Metal Alchemist and have read the complete manga of Full Metal Alchemist, which Brotherhood is based on. So, I get some points, but I have not made an in-depth analysis because I don't make YouTube videos like that. Anyway, here's the first song. You guys ready for it?
Yes.
I did not warm up, so this is going to be hard. All right, here we go. First song. Mata yo ga kereba o wakare yume wa toki maboshi ni anata o ikakete ita hikari no naka de takareru tebi ate takai kaze wo tayori.
I feel like I've heard this song.
You have.
It's the theme.
I guarantee it.
It's the theme to.
What's the track like on this? Is it like, or is it like?
I don't know how to answer that. Guess what the lyrics mean. How about do that, Alan? You go first.
Okay, can you give me the first 12 words again?
Mata yo ga akere ba o wakare yume wa toki maboroshi ni.
Oh yeah, I know this one. You make me feel like a warm steam bun in the bamboo basket. My wooden sandals clank with a magical rhythm.
That's so racist. That's it?
That's all I got.
All right. Okay. Warm steam bun, bamboo basket, racist sandals in the sunset or something. Whatever you said. AJ, what do you got?
When you're flying towards the sun and you want some feeling in your arms, you have to reach a little further to achieve your dreams. Something like that. I forgot the rest of the tune.
You should write commercial jingles.
All right. Actual lyrics. When dawn breaks again, we'll say our farewells. Our dreams become distant phantoms. The times we were embraced in the light that chased you, relying on the warm winds. This is hard.
Nah, man, I had the sun, I had dreams, I had arms, feeling in your arms.
You said embracing, right? I said warm steam bun.
I know that you said warm, Alan. AJ might win this one because, all those things he said, and he said win. The first word was win. So I'm gonna I'm gonna go ahead and give it to AJ.
You can have it.
Thanks.
You earned it.
I did.
And that song is called Shiki no Uta by Minmi, the beautiful Minmi. And it was the ending to Samurai Champloo. That's why you recognize it, AJ.
Mm-hmm. Alan should recognize it more because he recently watched that show.
Did you ever finish that or no?
No. I forgot about it now. I'm going to go back to it.
I would
I'm
fault
gonna
you.
leave a tab open. That is my to-do list. I leave a tab open in my browser.
I would fault you for
400
forgetting, but I
tabs.
totally forget to watch things all the time. So
I've been trying to work my way through what's that thing called? Altered Carbon season 2, but I think I'm gonna give up because it just hasn't really got me yet. So I haven't gotten past that to what do I watch now. But now I have something, so thank you.
Gotcha. Well, when you start again, listen to the opening and watch it because it's awesome. I know you like to skip it, but watch it because it's awesome.
And
listen and watch the ending too because they're both really good songs.
You checked my pride with your comment one time about watching the opening.
I know.
Was like, I guess I have to do that or else I'm not OG.
Here's the deal. I have to confess, I do skip them, but only when I don't like them. I was watching My Hero Academia today, and I do not like the season 4 opening that much, so I skipped it.
Marcus,
So I'll just put that
can't.
out there. I'll put that out there. But if it's good, I don't skip. Like Samurai Champloo, I would never skip because that's one of the best openings ever.
I do skip even when I do like it, but I also rock out to them just by themselves.
Okay,
when I'm not watching the show, so I feel like I make up for it. And they get in my head like a motherfucker, like the Mob opening, season 2, and what the hell do I watch? Iron Blooded Orphans. I think it's like halfway through the first season or something. They got a new opening. Maybe it was there from the beginning, but that
you like the Demon Slayer opening a lot too.
Oh yeah, the Demon Slayer opening is fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's catchy as hell. It's great. All right, cool. Next song. Now you got to step it up and learn the lyrics. Next song. How's this one go? Okay, I got it. Here we go. Fusagareta mabatu kara nagarata shida nomida. Kurigaeshi bushimamaru risai tochi no kakera. Don't want anything anymore. A baki das can jog around, turn around. I don't feel the way as before. Gang bang, son of a gun.
You say gangbang?
Maybe.
Is this the Beck song?
No, it's not.
You go first, AJ. Because that one first last time.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I need to gather my thoughts. Okay. Gunning you down is the only option.
Jesus.
Why did you run? You shouldn't have run. It needs to be a place for me to see that you can get away because you don't want anything anymore. I don't feel the same way before. I like guns, son of a gun, gangbang, something. Gangbang was in there somewhere. That's all I got. I tried to write down the English words and throw them in there, but it just didn't work out.
I feel like that was successful.
It's a valiant
Maybe.
effort.
Alan, what do you have?
Okay. You loved him before you loved me, but I never knew. And now we're here, and he is there, and there's no choice. I don't want anything anymore. You called him. You call him baby. I run and hide. There's nothing left but to gangbang. Son of a gun. Son of a gun.
Okay, wow. Wow, this is going to be hard to judge. So, actual lyrics. Tears streamed from my squeezed shut eyelids.
It's mine. Sorry,
Tears streamed from my squeezed shut eyelids. Terrible translation. My reason and the fragments of my blood are repeatedly undermined. Don't want anything anymore. My exposed feelings go around and turn around. I don't feel the same as before. Gang bang, son of a gun.
Come on, that's me. That's me.
He forgot the son of a gun, but it's fine. Give it to Alan.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Alan just because his was about some random love bullshit or whatever.
Feelings.
I don't know. Feelings. Yeah, there you go. Feelings. And you were just talking about gunning people down.
Mine had a heavy emphasis on guns. And using
Yeah.
them.
Not enough emphasis on the gangbang, though. Anyways, that song is Howling by Abingdon Boys School, the opening for Darker Than Black, 2007.
I knew I'd heard that before, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
a very
Darker Than Black?
That's an anime.
Ice Black.
That
See what I did there? Black ice. Black ice is black.
Hey,
black.
stop. No, stop. It's fine. And it's fine. All right.
Gangbang son of a gun.
Last song. Last song. It's all tied up. This one's interesting because this song's lyrics are all actually in English, but really bad English. So what I'm going to do is imitate the song as I hear it as best as I can. And you guys have to figure out what I'm saying.
I like it.
All right, here we go. Looking back, the morning comes, don't fire your face in your grass. Tied to moonlight, by the tail it's rainy side, you're shading. What is that? It's just the same. What is trying your crown? I'm spending my grass, walking back, so where my grass? You're fading.
He said my grass like 4 times. My grass.
And if anybody thinks I'm being offensive, after I give you the information, go look up the song if you don't know the song I'm talking about. I love the song, actually. It's a great song. But you don't know what the heck they're saying. You know they're speaking English, but you have no idea what they're saying until you look the lyrics up. All right, Allie, you go first.
Okay. Damn it. I wish I had any semblance of a short-term memory. It sounded like an Oasis song. So let's go with Oasis. I found you in my lawn. You stole my grass. It was burning when I felt the feelings. My grass. Feel my grass. I just cut it yesterday. Look at my grass. That's all I got.
He did say grass like 12 times.
I can't wait to read you the actual lyrics.
I think he said 4 and I did 4, but
I can't
I'm
wait.
not counting.
All right, AJ, what do you got?
Looking back to the morning, in comes the fire facing the grass. The grass is cold and you love it, but you're shedding. What is that? It's just the same as trying your crown. I'm wearing grass. Why are you wearing my grass? You're fading. I got that part.
Oh my God.
I forgot to write down the part about the crown.
This is awesome. You're going to be happy. I'm going to go ahead and read you the lyrics first, and you're going to find out who won. Looking back, and the morning comes. Don't find your face in your glass. And that's not me being mean. Go listen to the song. Take the moonlight by the
now
tail.
I feel horrible.
I should have thought of that.
I should have thought of that too. That's why I'm horrible. It's not horrible because I said it like 10 times. It's horrible because I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
And I'm not sensitive enough to make that consideration.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry,
all right.
everyone.
Looking back and the morning comes. Don't find your face in your glass.
Oh, boy.
Take the moonlight by the tail. It's a rainy sight. You're shading. What is that? It's just the same. What is trying in your crown? I'm spending my glass, walking back. So where my glass, you're fading. I don't know what any of that means, by the way. But it's definitely English.
So crown is
trying to
crown,
be.
not clown.
It's crown, yes. Anyway, AJ,
it only goes one way.
AJ, you hands down won that. I'm really proud of you. How much of that you actually pulled out of the song. That is Waiting So Long by the Silverfins, which is the ending to Berserk 1997. And it's one of those weird songs. The first time you hear it, it's a little off-putting and odd. But the more you listen to it, the more the song actually kind of kicks ass. Like, I love it.
I'm going to go listen if I
You should.
remember, which I probably won't.
And if you want to hear more fun English, listen to the Berserk 97 opening too, because that one's awesome too. Tell me why, tell me why, tell me what you want. Don't know why, don't know why, don't know why you fake.
Why you fake?
Why you're afraid.
Don't know why you afraid.
That's what it sounds like. I love that song too.
Marcus, I'm a little disappointed you didn't pull out the one of the theme songs from Promare, considering that's our topic tonight.
You know what? We're going to talk about that a whole lot, and I actually didn't feel like practicing. The only reason I can do any of these songs is because they're songs I've listened to a bunch.
That's fair.
But we'll talk about the songs in Promare. Speaking of which, shall we start talking about that now?
Let's talk about Promare. So we watched as a group, not in person because of coronavirus, but via
contagious.
Via the internet. We watched Promare together, and it was a good time to watch the movie. Promare on the other hand,
don't watch it alone.
Don't watch it alone.
It is to be watched with other people.
Oh,
I feel
here's how I want to do this conversation, AJ.
Okay.
Alan and I had already seen the movie. We had talked at length about it, and you got insights to how we felt. So going into it, what were your expectations? Think about seeing the trailer before you even heard our opinions, and then thinking about having seen the trailer after our opinions, knowing that we were going to watch it with you one day. What were you thinking going into this, that this movie was going to be?
I thought the art style was unique. I didn't necessarily love it, but I thought it could be really cool because, Studio Trigger, they do a lot of cool stuff. And I was expecting something over the top because so many people have hyped this movie up. They're just this is the best anime movie of 2019 or whatever it came out. And you got to see it, and it's so great, and blah, blah, blah. This is so good, and everyone's hyping it, and everyone loves Promare, and it's so good. And so I was like, this has got to be really good. It's going to be awesome. And so I was excited about it, and I was looking forward to it. And then you guys saw it, and you told me things that I was like, I know that I'm pretty much going to agree with these guys. Things like you talked about how the art of subtlety is kind of lost in this movie. There's nothing subtle. The story is not subtle. The characters are not subtle. Everything is over-explained. Everything is they have flashbacks in the movie for things that happened 20 minutes ago in the movie. It's this is really not necessary. So it almost feels like they built it as if it was going to be an anime series, but then they were like, okay, well, let's just make it a movie because we don't have enough content to fill 12 episodes or something. So that was one thing. Another thing was how ridiculous and hilarious the dubbing was. The dubbing it's hilarious. I don't fault it for that because it's so over the top. And we talked a bit about it yesterday. It's not badly done. It's well done, but it's just poorly written, I guess.
The acting is done well, but the writing is bad.
Considering what they were given, it was well performed, but they were given a crap script. So that was one of the other things. And just the feeling of overly, to sum it up, it's basically what you get when you have an awesome studio like Studio Trigger, who does awesome action and awesome art, make a movie, and then make the story up kind of as they go. It feels because that's what it is. As you're watching it, you're like, somebody's just making things up as they go, and they're just trying to get to the plot points that result in either super cool looking, images or animation, or setting up fight scenes. Like, it would be cool if they fought in this floating city and then the city collapsed and blah, blah, blah. And there are volcanoes everywhere and burnish. And that's kind of what I walked away from. It's not the worst thing I've seen by far, but it's also not the best thing I've seen by far. It's squarely in the middle. Like, I would probably watch it again. If somebody was like, hey, have you seen this movie? Do you want to watch it? I was like, yeah, okay, I'll watch it again. But I would not go out of my way to watch this movie again. And I probably would not recommend it to anybody who's not already an anime fan.
Oh yeah, no, this is not an introductory piece of material for somebody.
I don't know. I think, okay. I just looked it up. on Rotten Tomatoes because I was telling my wife about it, and she watches zero anime. And she was like, is this on Rotten Tomatoes? I'm like, I think every movie's on Rotten Tomatoes, but maybe not. So it is on Rotten Tomatoes. Guess what the tomatometer? Tomatometer?
Wow. I've never said it out loud before. I don't know how you say it.
Tomatometer.
Tomatometer.
The tomatometer, I would say, is probably 7.
We talking about critics or audience?
Critics.
Well, I guess the audience is just
the
popcorn.
audience is just audience. Yeah, this is the tomatometer.
All right. Shit.
I'm going to say 78.
I'm going to say it's higher than it should be because everything animated is always higher than it should be.
It is way higher than you would ever expect.
I'm going to say 92.
It is 96.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Fucking Rotten
How?
Tomatoes. That makes no sense.
I mean, I can kind of understand where, like, you expect it to be what it is, and it delivers on what it is.
But most critics are real critical about that kind of stuff, and they're like, this movie just doesn't make any sense, and blah, blah, blah.
Visually dazzling and narratively exhilarating. Exhilarating?
No. Hey, no.
Promare is a colorful thrill ride that should entertain adult anime enthusiasts as well as the teens in its target audience.
And like you guys said when you were originally pre-reviewing it for me, if we were younger, if we were teenagers, like this would probably be right up there. But I don't know. There's an art to just having a good story that's well performed, and not saying it wasn't well performed, but the writing is just not.
I don't think they made it up as they went along, like you said. I feel like they had this idea, and they wanted. It's almost like they want you to know how hard they thought it through. so they really it's like, all right, we're gonna have a theme, guys. The theme is burning. So burnish, burning soul, firefighter, burning fire souls.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
My soul burns hotter than any burnish because of my fiery soul of burning.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot exaggerate or even make fun of it because it already does that. There's no extreme that it doesn't already go to.
And that's kind of what we mentioned before, is that it makes fun of itself by kind of pointing out how over the top, the main character is an idiot and he does stupid things and makes stupid poses and says stupid stuff, but then they still do it. You're calling it out for being a fault, but then you're still this is your shtick for the movie.
It's self-aware, but it doesn't
correct
justify
anything.
The fault. But so the audience score is 93, which is actually less than the critic.
Yeah, the audience score isn't surprising to me because this movie is gonna self-select, its audience.
Right.
It's not meant for mainstream anything. So.
And I feel like I'm missing. Is there something I'm missing to this movie? That everybody else loves it because of XYZ, and I don't think there is. I think it's just some people are just totally into whatever it's offering, and it's just not.
No, I mean, I like the style. I like the sense of motion in the animation was really I liked a whole lot. It's polished, but it's also kind of comic-y in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
where it's just like it's not overly complicated, it's not overly detailed, it's like simple but effective. There were a lot of like bursting streams of like geometric sparkly energy with like dragon heads. I'm surprised they didn't work dragons into the fiction somehow, because there were so many instances of like, I'm riding a stream of, fire energy and it becomes a dragon head because it's cool, because it looks cool.
And that's the theme of the
movie. That just happened the one time.
Yeah, I think it was just the one dragon scene.
I mean, it was a long scene. It was prevalent. And I loved it.
No, it was at least two. I feel like it was like around the middle of the movie where he goes after Cray. We'll get to the names in a minute. But there's a guy named Cray. And then at the end when he was, I don't know, they're just constantly, the last hour is just them exploding with like flame energy for reasons.
Well, yeah, and that's part of it. Like the flame power, the burnish power that they have, like is just such a, and they call it out too. Like, oh, this machine here is Deus Ex Machina, and like everything in this movie is Deus Ex Machina. Why can firepower just suddenly produce a cannon that can shoot a guy halfway across the world?
It's like the lantern power, except fire, made of fire.
But they never say that, and it's just like all of a sudden, boom. Like, or if this is your power, is to be able to create material out of nothing, why don't you use that more often instead of just shooting flames? It just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Well, I mean, they used it plenty when they were fighting.
Kind of.
But the burning was just because they had to.
Did they, though?
I mean, yeah, they explain it at the end ad nauseum.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I want to go back a little bit, and I still want to just ponder on like why the score may have been so high. The critic scores, like, I don't know if it's just like a bunch of anime critics that were in that, like amongst that, but I've been on like Rotten Tomatoes before, and I've seen reviews of anime where it's like people that obviously don't watch anime review a thing. So the audience score is weird to me. Or the critic score of 96 is weird to me. I don't get that. But in watching this movie, well, I'll come out and say this. My stance on Promare is, it's hard to say whether or not, I can't say I hate it. That's not true. All right. I hate it. That's my stance. That's my stance on Promare.
Here's a I think accurate little blurb from the Los Angeles Times critic. After seeing every leaf on every bush in so many features, it's fun to sit back and enjoy a film that pushes its look and palette beyond mere reality to create a fantasy world that could only exist in animation.
Right.
I feel like that's accurate.
Right, and that's what I was gonna say. For the audiences, I think most people get so hyped for it because I feel like there is, in the glut of anime that we have nowadays with like streaming services and like different, like a billion anime coming out every year, like new titles announced every season, and there's like 40 of them. It's ridiculous. There aren't a lot of feature length movie anime that come out anymore that have like worldwide acclaim, I guess. And so for me personally, even though there's a lot that I hate about the movie, it does scratch the itch of seeing an anime that is pushed like beyond the boundaries of animation. That's like actually a frontier piece, so to speak. Because when we got into anime way back in the day, in the 80s and the 90s and early 2000s, most of the stuff we were watching were anime features.
Yeah.
So the animation was all like super ridiculous anyway. And that's why we sort of fell in love with it. Like, if you think back to our first podcast, the anime we brought up were like Ninja Scroll, Ghost in the Shell, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, Akira. Like, you think about all of those movies and they redefine the way that you look at what animation can be. So this movie does like scratches that itch that I don't have scratched a lot anymore, since I watch mostly series now and not actual movies, where you can look at one scene and if you stop and think about it, and wonder like how long it must have taken them, you become really impressed. Like you don't even know how this was possible for them to make like a set piece like this in a movie like this that's so detailed and so much is going on in every frame of action. Not to mention they do it like 4 times in the movie, and each one of the set pieces are like 10 to 15 minutes in length. So it's like maybe that's it. Maybe that's the reason people cling to it so hard, because yeah, it is taking animation into realms that we typically only see in anime. So I guess I can relate from that standpoint for the audience score.
It just feels overly high score for what is basically just a feature that is focused entirely on pushing animation forward with a butt-ass screenplay. Like there's nothing redeeming about the story. Like if this was animated any other way, this would be a horrible movie. But
it's true
because they animated it in such a way that's unique and distinct, and you know, I really think it does push anime forward, because so much anime looks the same as other anime. So I'm glad that they actually put the effort in to make it look unique and distinct, and you know that you're looking at Promare when you look at any screenshot from that movie. But it's the story itself is just like, ugh.
Well, here's a thought. Here's something I just thought of. For the critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes, visually dazzling and narratively exhilarating. It's almost like
it's not.
The narrative itself is not exhilarating, but the constant like yelling and ridiculousness, like it does keep a high energy level that rarely quits. And that's like me and Marcus both said, like we were exhausted. I mean, you said it last night after the second time. It's like you're exhausted after you watch this movie, because it starts at 10 and it bounces between like 9 and 15 for the whole movie. And
that's true, because I was looking for a second of downtime for that movie, and there's very little downtime.
There really isn't, yeah. And so, you know, they kind of put the narrative to work to serve that purpose. Like they said, they probably, I don't know, it feels like they wanted this style. They wanted all these action scenes. They wanted a high action, you know, ridiculous story, and they just tried to have the dialogue keep the energy up, so they're always yelling dumb stuff. So even though it's like ridiculous and, you know, stupid in a way, you know, it's so stupid that you're laughing at it. You're keeping your energy level high. And even when it's bad, it's like you're waiting for the next bad thing. You know,
here's the problem. Here's a problem with that. To say that the narrative is exhilarating isn't... the narrative isn't exhilarating just because people yell. That's the delivery. That's not the narrative.
No, I don't necessarily agree with it, but just reading it made me think of that. You know, maybe that was their intent with the ridiculousness. But go ahead.
It's Studio Trigger. I think their intent was to make something that was crazy, because they like making things that are crazy. If you ever watch Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, or if you ever watch Kill la Kill, or if you ever watch Darling in the Franxx, which are all 3 series of theirs, which I didn't watch Darling in the Franxx, but I very much liked Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. Like, that's their bread and butter. They're just weird. They make weird, high energy, goofy stuff. But like with the series, they have the advantage of like spreading it out. It's almost like they were trying to fit all of the intensity in one of those series into this feature-length movie. And it was like, God, you don't have to do that. But I mean, who am I to talk? Apparently it satisfies a bunch of people. It just doesn't satisfy us for whatever reason. And
it seems like if I watched a series that was that intense every episode, like I would enjoy it more. I think because it's so compressed into, you know, 2 hours, it's like, I just need a break. But if you were to break it into, you know, 6 20-minute sections, it might be a little more palatable.
Well, yeah, because the movie actually opens really strong. First, it has that opening sequence where it's sort of during the intro credits, it's sort of giving you a background of how the Burnish, these people who spontaneously combust and like can shoot purple green fire out of their bodies and make things with it. It explains how they came into being, or when they came into being and how they changed the world. That scene is probably my favorite part of the movie, just because visually it's really appealing. The animation for that stuff is a little grittier, and I like the black and white with the juxtaposition with like the color palette that you're going to see through the rest of the movie, which is like the purples and greens, which seem to be really influenced by like cyberpunk and synthwave art, which I'm really into. So like I was all aboard there. And then you have the establishing action scene where it's basically showing you like, this is the team, this is what they do. It's really good action. You have the main antagonist show up, and they look super badass. Well, you think he's the antagonist, but he's not. They show up looking super badass, showing all their powers, and that's like 10 minutes of really intense awesomeness. And you're like, all right, this is the world that I'm interested in. I'm pulled in. And then it settles down for a little bit. But then every time there is more action, it gets just as amped up as that first scene where it's like, well, it's okay. Like, that made me a little tired in the beginning. I was ready to settle into a really good story now, but the story's not that good. So now you're just going to the crazy action again. And it lasted longer this time. And then they chill out a little bit. And then they go back to that crazy action. And then you get to the end, and it keeps getting dumber and dumber and dumber until like your brain is fried by the end of it. It's crazy. And it looks good. I enjoyed watching it over again, and it reminded me that I do actually enjoy looking at the movie, because I actually do like the style and the colors that they were using and everything else. But like the intensity of everything in combination with the really bad dialogue during the action sequences is really what did it. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe if those action sequences were just as intense and crazy and bombastic, but without all the really dumb dialogue, maybe the movie wouldn't have made me so tired, honestly, now that I think about it. I think it really was the dialogue. I think it was how insufferably stupid and obnoxious the main character is.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you have these high octane battles with just like peppered moments of like cringe one-liners.
Yeah.
But they said he was stupid, so it's okay.
No.
You said the ending was stupid, so it's okay?
No, I said they say that he's a stupid character.
They call him stupid,
so it makes
and
it
they
fine.
acknowledge his stupidity.
Well, and then like out of nowhere, they kind of just drop this twist, like, oh, I'm an AI who helped this guy do this and that, and the Burnish are actually these little alien figure things, and blah blah blah. And it's like,
well, it's not really a twist. It's more of an expository dump where they explain everything.
It's a twist because you think the Burnish are just being bad guys, and then you realize, oh, the Burnish are not actually.
Yeah, they explain it as a mutation early on, and then it turns out it's not. It's a parallel universe energy spirits,
right,
that need to burn. Yeah, I mean, the climax is they keep talking about incinerating the earth, but that's not actually what they're doing. They're just burning off all this energy. And I kind of checked out for that part. I was like hearing the dialogue. I'm just like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Well, here's the problem. You checked out for that part because this movie, up to that point, the movie was basically, there's a society where there are people that spontaneously explode and combust and burn everything down. Those people have been oppressed because basically they're considered to be terrorists or whatnot. So you have the burning rescue squad, which is like our protagonist. They handle when the Burnish people get out of control.
They'll only rescue you if you're burning. If you are not on fire, they don't care.
Pretty much. And then you have the freeze force, which is like they have higher jurisdiction than them because they're basically like the military arm of the government. And they also like quell the terrorist acts and stuff too. But they're a little more Gestapo about it. All right, so everything's kind of plain and simple to understand. But then you get so far as you learn about the Burnish and you see behind the scenes, and you see they're actually real people and they're not actually evil. They're just like, they were born with this thing that they can't do anything about. They're misunderstood, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. Everything's relatively easy to understand. Then all of a sudden They go to fucking 5-meter ice lake where the ice is 5 meters deep for no reason at all. They go there, they find this underground lair, and then you meet this AI that within the first 2 minutes of you meeting him, he just explains everything. It was all really simple, and then he explains this convoluted thing.
Well, then they go like, what? How did you know that we were going to be here? And he's like, I didn't. You guys just happened to show up.
Right, so it's making fun of itself, but it's like, if you're going to be stupid, just be stupid. Like, don't make this whole expository scene where it's all weird and crazy, where not only did you check out, Alan, the main character in the story checked out.
Literally.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice. Not even just once, twice.
Well,
Dr. Scientist is like explaining everything, and then they show him like sleeping with a snot bubble coming out of his nose, and then it pops and he wakes up and he's like, what are you talking about? And it's like, all right, so I guess they're trying to make fun of the anime trope of overly explaining things, like too much exposition
while also doing it.
So it's like, how about just don't do that? How about make fun of it by saying like, Dr. Scientist, his name isn't Dr. Scientist, but that's what I'm fucking calling him. His actual name was like Deus Prometh or something weird. All the names are weird in this movie.
His name is Deus something like that.
Yeah, Deus Prometh. Like, have him start explaining and then have main character Gallo Timos be like, yeah, Doc, we don't need to know that. All we have to do is burn hard, and then like dip out. And then it's like, all right, you made fun of it successfully.
Yeah,
right.
That's a classic like pitfall of parody, is like committing the fault that you're making fun of, or that you aim to skewer.
And that's like, I if you had gone all in on the goofy, like you said, Marcus, it would have been fine. But the reason it doesn't feel that way, and you could maybe argue that it does, but the reason it doesn't feel that way is because the music typically sets the scene in anime, and the music is just so like, it's not jovial enough, it's not like goofy enough, and it doesn't feel like a goofy scene. It feels like they're trying to make this as serious as possible, but you fail when you put the goofiness over top like a song that's super serious feeling and setting a serious tone, whereas if you had put like a goofy song in that set a goofy tone on top of all these goofy characters, it would have made more sense.
Yeah, like multiple times, like the main theme for the movie is like this, I don't even know what to call it, but they're like, it's like those inspirational songs that you see for a trailer for like the newest Pixar movie coming out.
Exactly.
Where it's just like all this sound, strings and synth and everything, and some chick going like, oh, you gotta do it if you believe, blah, blah, blah. But she's singing Japanese. I don't know what she's actually saying. But it's like, you play that at the end.
Right.
I like movies where they don't play it at all because I hate music like that. But they play it throughout the whole movie. Like, even in the first fight, like first scene where they're establishing everybody, they're playing it. And it's like,
well, then they use
the
same song like 3
yet.
times, and you're like, oh, this again.
Yeah.
There's like 2 songs that they overuse.
It's like they wrote like 5 anime intro songs and they just play them throughout the whole movie.
Yeah. They're like, we don't want to pay for another.
And it just sets the wrong tone the entire time.
Yeah, but talking about the main character, Gallo Timos, checking out,
Keep talking, I gotta grab my power.
All right. In a weird way, even though I didn't like him as a main character because he was dumb and obnoxious and he was supposed to be endearing, but he just wasn't to me. At the same time, it was weird because he kind of served as me in the movie because he would say something really dumb and it was how I felt about the movie right before he said it. like a thing would happen and I would be like, oh my God, that's dumb, I don't get it. And he would be like, oh, I don't get it, or something. And it happened like 5 times. I think one time it wasn't even him that did it. It was actually Craig Forsyth that did it. When he was fighting at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, if you want to watch this movie, then don't listen to this part that I'm going to say right now. But basically, it turns out he's the bad guy, the main bad guy. So he's fighting Gallo Timos. and Timos just decides to start calling him Crazer X. His machine is Crazer X.
Crazer
now.
X is his big, dumb mecha suit.
But it's not. That's not what it's called. The dude that's
he
it
makes
doesn't
it
call
up, but
it that.
yeah, that's when he starts.
And he says it once, and I groan, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so dumb. He says it again, and I'm just like, wow, he really just said it again, like 2 seconds later. He says it a third time, and I remember when you and me and the other people we saw with in the theater, Alan, I remember just like hands out to the screen going, stop saying it. We get it. You come up with dumb names. And what happens right after I say that? Cray Foresight goes, stop making up stupid names. And I'm like, the movie knows it's doing it. It knows it's getting on my nerves. Like, that doesn't make it okay just because you know you're doing it. Like, I don't know what's worse. Like, being like, if you have a person that's being an idiot but they don't know it, so they keep on doing it, or a person that does know they're being an idiot and they don't stop. Like, I'm not sure what's worse. It doesn't make it okay in either sense, but the movie just keeps doing it. It's so crazy.
And I don't know how many times they say burnish in the movie, but it has to be
God. Between
in
them
the
saying
3 digits.
burnish and
Soul.
burning soul and firefighters burning. Yeah, I mean fire adjectives, but mostly the word burn. And like burnish doesn't even mean doesn't even have anything to do with burning.
Mad burnish, bro.
Yeah.
Mad burnish.
That's what happens. That's what happens when the Japanese want to use English words.
Yeah.
I guess. And apparently every name in this movie has some relation to fire, and like it's some translation to fire.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? From just different languages?
Yeah, maybe not every character, but a lot of the characters. Some of their names translate to fire. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it's cool that you made the effort to make everything fire, but you don't need to make everything fire.
It's a theme, man. Make sure people understand the theme. Theme
It's
is
weird,
what holds it all together.
Yeah, because we didn't know that from all of the fire that's happening all of the time, or all of the ice that's happening to fight the fire.
I wonder what
all
the
of the time.
because the name of the town is like something.
Promopolis.
And then there was some insignia or something on some building. It said something.
Prometh is the dude. Yeah. Prometh is the dude.
Promare is the name of the species, the sentient life forms from a parallel universe.
Right, but this was something else.
burn.
They used that PROM, etc.
Yeah, well, Deus Prometh, that was Dr. Scientist's name. And then, Promopolis, I don't know exactly how to say it. And, I can't remember.
Promare
I do remember
themselves.
seeing it some other places too, but I'm not thinking of them right now.
What was the thing they like blasted the logo in your face at a really
which
weird time? Yeah.
When he told them what the
name of the thing was, that's a really
right.
big strike against the movie.
That was like, what did you
cringed
even just
real
do?
hard. He was like, they are the species from a parallel world. They are the Promare, and then the logo like freaking flashes on the screen super
It's
hard.
like in case you forgot.
in case you forgot what you're
movie.
watching.
And man, that's like, it goes with the theme of this movie overstating itself. I guess that's what this movie is. It's like an Instagram model going like, look at me. I'm here right now doing this thing. I'm so cool. That's what Promare is. It's a needy girl on Instagram.
I don't get it. I don't get why people love it, but it's fine. I guess the whole appeal is just the style. Like, that's got to be it. And this.
Well, here's the thing, though. It is really fun to watch with other people. I had a good time watching it.
It's
as much as I can rip into it.
Yeah.
I
would
I
never
guess for
watch
other
it by
people-
myself.
No, I couldn't imagine.
So there you go. Watch it with other people.
Yeah,
Make
that is
fun
the
of it.
ideal
I mean, you
situation.
really gotta
yeah,
make fun
yeah,
of it.
no, it's definitely for that. The cringe and the you'll make your own inside jokes. It's almost like it creates its own jokes with whoever you watch it with.
I'm
And
trying.
I don't know. It's a unique experience. It's a unique mix of like high execution of craft and,
Yeah.
and just bizarrely bad, ridiculous storytelling. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a movie to compare it to that I've
Oh
seen.
man, I don't know if I have one.
That's the thing. Like I can't.
I feel like I have one, but I can't think of it.
There's nothing that comes to mind because if it's not a super goofy movie, it's it's a serious movie. Like most of the Studio Ghibli movies. Is it Ghibli or Ghibli? I never know. I'll say Ghibli.
Ghibli.
Ghibli is how I say it.
Those are all fairly serious. I mean, they're well animated and they're really good. But they're all fairly serious and they set the right tone throughout. And then you get like over the top movies like Akira, like it sets a tone. What the Vampire Hunter D? I'm trying to
Akira
say
is over the top. Like, not. I wouldn't call it over the top as much as I'd just say it's extreme. Like, it's extremely the setting is extremely sci-fi, very cyberpunk. Weird, twisted things happen in it,
Right.
but like the characters aren't that extreme. The characters feel like relatable humans.
No, I agree, and that's kind of the theme of the movie. Is consistently like this is a serious setting. I mean, they'll crack jokes every once in a while, but it feels more like a movie, like a real movie. This one just feels like
The whole movie's a joke.
right. Promare just feels like Saturday morning cartoons that you don't take it too seriously. You're just kind of awake. You're still waking up, and you're like, I'm just gonna watch this because this is something I do, and it kind of explodes with color, and it's like the Oops All Berries of anime. Like here's too much of the things you love, but the substance is kind of missing. There you go.
All right. Well,
They called it narratively exhilarating. Like,
maybe we just don't get it. Maybe we want something that it can't give us. We don't get it, guys.
You can get a lot out of it if you set your expectations. My expectations were this is a really good movie on all levels. I mean, that's how people sold it. Like that's what they were saying. This movie's great animation, great story. If you go into it thinking that, you will probably be disappointed like I was.
I mean, yeah, maybe it's just a fandom thing. Because there are things that are popular that not because they actually tell a good story necessarily, but because they are quintessentially A, B, or C, or D. Like there are certain shows out there that people love that I don't get it, but people love it because it is that. It's the only that, and it never stops being that.
Yeah. I
guess
get
that's
that.
what Promare is.
I mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate what they did. Except for the hair thing. Why is his hair see-through? Even on the damn cover, where he's head to head, like forehead to forehead with Leo, Gallo's hair is like transparent across Leo's head, and you can see his eye through his hair. Why do they do that?
Yeah, that's something that's been established in anime for a very long time. Actually, I think it was the hack, if you want to call it, for animators to get away with having characters have crazy hair designs, but also being able to like see the detail they put in their eyes.
Yeah.
Because if you know anything about anime, it's all about the hair and the eyes. Like those are the character traits that work the hardest in most anime that you see.
You know what I'm going to compare this to? And it's going to be totally unfair. I'm going to compare this to Redline. Because Redline was, when it came out, like, one of the best looking animated movies ever, and it did all these things that you'd never seen in animation before. But the story was also, you know, for the most part, pretty good and coherent, and none of the characters were unlikable for the most part, and the acting was well done and the writing was well done. So I think you can pull it off and have a good cohesive story and good animation. Promare is just one half of that equation.
Let me pose a question to you. Does this movie change if Leo Focia is the main character and not Gallo Timos? Because I was just thinking about what you're saying. Comparing it to Redline isn't a bad comparison, because Redline is very crazy and over the top. Beautiful to look at, but there's a lot of stupid stuff in it. But I love that movie, and it's great. But I think the difference is I like Sweet JP a lot. I think he's a cool character, and I can get behind him. Gallo Timos, I just want him to shut up the whole movie.
And I think that's where they miss, is because they made him the main protagonist when he is... they admit it in the movie that he is stupid and obnoxious.
Yeah, he would have been like a likable, not likable, but like the villain you love to hate. Like if he would have been the antagonist. If it had been centered on Leo, if Leo had been the protagonist, and like Gallo was this, you know, guy he had to deal with, he'd be like, oh, I hate that guy, but I can't wait for him to, you know, for Leo to make him look and feel stupid. I don't know, but then it's still all about the two of them at the end. And
honestly,
you still
I
gotta
think
deal with him anyway.
Well, here's the thing. Make Leo, because I like Leo, actually. I like his character. He's cool. Make him the main character. Make Gallo the guy on the side that keeps annoying you, but he continually is helpful, even if it's on accident. He's continually helpful to Leo as the main character. Might like the movie better. I might actually like it better because I'm not set up to believe that the world is saved by this guy who's a self-admitting idiot that just tries really hard and yells dumb stuff all the time, making me tired.
You
Like
almost
could. If he's just a helper, then maybe I'm okay with him.
Right. I almost think you could get away with making Aina the girl whose sister was working. You could make her more of a protagonist, maybe even the main character, and then have, you know, Gallo kind of follow her around, and then Leo kind of merge with Aina story-wise and have that be a thing.
Hold up. Because Aina, is she the one that was on Burning Rescue, or was she the...
She was on Burning Rescue, and yeah, her sister Elise was on... she was the scientist.
Okay.
Because I think that makes for a more interesting story, and you kind of lose something when she was... I mean, she really wasn't a big part of the story. So when Elise is like, "Oh,"
done with her, but they did.
Right. So when Elise is like, "Oh, my sister's down there," it's like, okay, I don't really know much about her, and I don't really know anything about you. I don't really care, like as someone who's watching, what happens to you or your sister, because you're not really a main character, and you're a support character who hasn't been fleshed out at all. You're entirely one-dimensional.
But AJ, don't you know that doing that makes the story narratively exhilarating? When you don't actually care about one of the characters that's pivotal to the evil plan, coming to fruition.
One of the critics basically said just don't even think about how it works. It's more enjoyable.
I can agree with that.
At its most potent when taken without much concern for its bewildering mechanics.
That I'm on board with.
Yeah.
I can get down with that assessment.
And I wish I would have known that going in, because then I would have maybe gotten more out of it. I don't know. You can't sell an anime movie as the greatest of all time when only it's half complete, or it's half 100% what it could be. And I go back to Redline. It's both beautiful and the story's, pretty good. Maybe it's not the best story, but it's a movie that I would watch on my own. if I had the desire to. This one is one that I would go to YouTube. I would look up the best scenes and watch the animation, but I cannot suffer through that story again.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up this podcast. Be sure to check out Broke Otaku on Twitter at Broke Otaku, of course. Follow the podcast at Broke Otaku Cast. Head to podcast.brokeotaku.com, which will take us to the podcast website where you can subscribe on iTunes, subscribe on Google Play, subscribe on your toilet, whatever you got to do. Listen
on Spotify, Stitcher.
Pottycast.
I think Stitcher.
Get it, the podcast on the toilet. Pottycast. It's a new podcast network that we just joined. Pottycast.
It's all over, man. Just shit and listen, and then tweet at us and give us your comments. And if you have a game that you want us to play that you can explain the rules in a couple tweets, I'd be happy to try it out. So
that's the next
frontier.
Step.
Yep.
So we're not playing the same 4 games.
Exactly, and we can get better names.
I love
too.
these games. Yeah,
they're great.
Make sure you give it an awful name, or else we're not gonna play it.
Don't call it the name game, though. It's already taken.
Twice.
All right. Thanks, guys, for listening.
We did it, guys.
See you next time.
See you next time. We love you.
Yeah, take care. Mwah.
Oh, yeah.
Well.